Hi, welcome to She Spice. UL Doctor has returned to taking L's. What's more, this time the individual making the efforts is Childish Gambino. To be fair, nobody was expecting this Gambino's end of a section of his music profession with his most recent collection. Now the rapper left a mark on the world by rapping about significant issues that plague America. In this track, This is America, and it seems as though he needed to accomplish a similar effect this time around too. The inquiry is, did he figure out how to do it? And assuming this is the case, the way that, well, there was an endeavor, Gambino utilized Drake, everything being equal, to discuss all that is wrong in the business it resembles. Drake's turned into the perfect example now for obscure dealings, and Gambino truly didn't keep down. He went through all the Drake allegations in the book. However, the one that has fans talking is the chance of oddity off gatherings, and fans can't resist the urge to trust his words since Drake has an obscure history with regards to ladies, and he has considerably shadier associations, leaving fans pondering, is Drake truly facilitating these sorts of gatherings? What precisely did he say would it be at? Good idea for us. We be preparing for a Drake reaction, and all the more significantly, for what reason did Gambino want to go after Drake out of nowhere? Is there an individual hamburger here that we have barely any familiarity with? We should find out. We write currently. It's a free for all on somebody. So individuals can simply do whatever. There's a many individuals that, you realize, I surmise Drake has been the assailant on, or been in some unacceptable one. This one, silly Gambino, to me appears to be poor old Gambino. Let's off shots. So Gambino dropped his most sweltering new track Yoshinoya on July 19th, 2024, from his most recent collection Bando Stone in the New World. And man, does he have fans talking, the webs having a discussion about regardless of whether the tune is a Drake diss. And to tell the truth, there are simply such a large number of clear signs. To say something else, we should begin with the primary stanza of the tune. It goes, I put your kid in the seat, you got your business, and the roads I clean up when I eat. So the overall assessment here is that Gambino is referring to Kendrick's diss track 616 in Law. For those of you who don't recall, Dab said that it's not difficult to track down soil on Drake, since he has his confidential data spilled, which isn't too distant reality. Drake's had a great deal of tales going around as of late. Gambino likewise contrasted himself and Drake, expressing that, then again, he's spotless. As he wraps up, I clean up. It could likewise imply that Gambino isn't reckless like Drake. And afterward, we have the following stanza that goes, I don't have the foggiest idea about nobody BD, except for they are subject to me. I don't have the foggiest idea where I'm at. You can't quarrel over the BD here. That is a clear reference to Child Daddy. Otherwise known as Drake's tune, Rich Child Daddy Gambino could likewise be going after Drake's nurturing abilities here. He's sort of missing from his child's life. However, it's typically the child mom who is relying upon the child daddy. Boo's colloquialism that Drake's the person who relies upon somebody in this present circumstance. He could likewise be alluding to Lucien Child Daddy, is like Drake has a rich child daddy named Lucien, and general wow he resembles, like man, my daddy got it. You understand what I'm talking about. It resembles my daddy controlling the twists. My daddy got the DSPS, my daddy. Drake has a rich child daddy. Nam Lucy, so his streams, and the number ones are all constrained by somebody named Lucy. And afterward, the following section goes, I viewed as your house on an application. Individuals around you, don't support them plotting hard when you slack. Do we truly need to remind everybody how really you look at Drake by dropping an image of his home as the cover artwork for his track Dislike Us? I intend, what else could Gambino mean by, I tracked down your home on an application concerning the other two lines? Well, they sort of reverberate words from track 616 in Law, where he raps about rodents and Dar's camp. In the event that you believed that was a mid-disease, you should prepare yourself in light of the fact that from this point forward it's terrible. Gambino goes for my children, you for your life, you effing these cultivators. I'm effing my significant other. I mean, do we truly need to express the conspicuous here during the whole hamburger with Kendrick? Drake got hauled for his family values, and Gambino's making it truly self-evident that he's flaunting about the way he's secured. In the meantime, Drake likes to play. And there's likewise an unobtrusive admonition here for the Canadian vocalist. One of Gambino's children is really named after Drake, and on the off chance that Drake chooses to at any point answer the track, he better not commit the error of name-dropping his child and keeping in mind that we're busy. Gambino really addresses the subject of Drake being a terrible father multiple times in the track Somewhere Else in the tune he goes. I was caught up with developing the existence that ES don't have. Let me know that the cash makes you desolate. It ain't so awful in double. US jokes are so father, however, I haven't seen their child in a month so thoroughly, wondering for no specific reason which rapper got hauled for ignoring his child as of late during a significant rap hamburger. It begins with a D and closes with an E, yet this isn't anything to what Gambino had arranged. Next, he rapped a K not quiet like blade figure. He will not do, ain't so awful and double. US jokes are so father, however haven't seen they child in a month so thoroughly, wondering for no specific reason which rapper got hauled for ignoring his child as of late during a significant rap. Hamburger begins with a D and closes with an E, yet this isn't anything to what Gambino had arranged next. He rapped a K not quiet like blade figure. He will not do it. I got to do what I like, so a K here could have a multifaceted nuance. Here it could either mean the actual weapon, which shows that Gambino ain't playing with the dangers, or it very well, maybe a more clear get down on considering DJ Scholastic's Drake's mouthpiece isn't far from reality since the decoration was doing the greater part of Drake's offering during the hamburger, and from now on Gambino continues to bargain a large number of blows. There's been a moment since he needed to fit it on the scratch pad, carrying back the discussion to how Drake's been famous for utilizing apparition writers to separate it in a real sense. Gambino's idiom Drake hasn't needed to think carefully to compose verses for some time. However, it looks like Gambino's been utilizing his since he was showing no mercy with this line of white kid, tossing soil on my name for the think piece. That's right, Gambino truly went there. He reignited the discussion about Drake's darkness and his way of life vulture ways, and afterward, at last, Gambino goes my tweets generally lowercase. I saw these N-words covering my home young lady, said you a stalker, so we ain't dapping. I ain't see you man what happened. Now a ton of people accept that this is a reference to the bits of gossip encompassing Drake and Jordan Smith. For those of you who don't be aware, back in 2018 Drake dropped a few bars about Yoria in his track board. Now Yoria was 20 years of age, while he was 31 at the time. He rapped we might have held up. I wasn't searching distinction in ages. You're old enough however you're asked. Yet a child, no doubt a ton of people believed that Drake was hella peculiar for doing that, for setting the two work together on Drake's tune, Take Care of Business, and here's where it gets delicious. Evidently Jay worked together with Gambino as of late, and she's likewise one of his dear companions. So whenever Gambino says home young lady, there's a high opportunity that he might have been discussing Yorha. So does that imply that Drake's a stalker? Did he make Yorha extremely uncomfortable? Well, will require her to respond to those questions plainly, yet from the image Gambino is painting, that is by all accounts the case, other than there must be a more profound explanation for Yoria turning down Drake at first for the cooperation, yet saying, okay, just when she parted ways with her sweetheart, and that essentially covers all the conceivable Drake callouts in Gambino's new track. And to be fair, after all that everybody requires to concede that Gambino obviously made the track for the Canadian rapper. Which carries us to our next question: for what reason did Gambino pursue Drake? Did he have an individual score to settle with the Divine Being's plan vocalist? Or was he essentially composing the latest things well? We can't say without a doubt yet. What we do know is that Drake and Gambino don't get along, and for everybody finding it hard to accept, are you all failing to remember that Gambino's butted heads with Drake before their history? So back in 2018, Gambino assumed control over the music scene with the arrival of his track, This Is America. The 4-minute single-take music video immediately assembled on YouTube offered Gambino the distinction of being the first hip jump craftsman who won Record of the Year and Melody of the Year, and it's all well merited. Gambino's track was famous. He rapped about issues like subjection and weapon viciousness in the States, and him hitting the dance floor with school kids while tumult unfurled behind the scenes was essentially social history. Now, this is where things get fascinating. You see, Gambino didn't expect to make a notable track for the Set of Experiences pages when he got in the studio. The thing was, well, during his meeting with GQ back in 2018, Glover uncovered his motivation behind the track, and man did he have a fascinating comment he uncovered. I had the thought 3 years before I told Chief Legend Murray the thought, and he's like, I truly believe I should do that. The thought for the tune began as a joke to be totally legitimate. This is America that was the sum total of what we had was that line it began as a Drake plate to tell the truth as like an entertaining approach to doing it. However, at that point I resembled this stuff sounds sort of hard. However, so I resembled let me play with it, and well, Drake basically couldn't pause for a moment or two and let the Martian entertainer drag his name in broad daylight. Thus he applauded back during the opening shot for the It's Everyone of the A. Hayes visit with 21 Savage at Chicago's Unified Center on July 5, 2023. Preceding Drake got on the stage to play out his track titles. Fans caught a progression of titles showed across the screen. Furthermore, there's one explanation that got everybody's attention: the misrepresented and overgranted hit melody. This Is America was initially a Drake Circle record. To be fair, we get Drake being pissed about the call-out, yet calling the track misrepresented and overgranted was a shameful move. When it collected basic recognition, exactly the way in which Trivial could Drake at any point be really the rapper actually needs to quit butting for. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.